Hi, and welcome to Wealth Window, making life better from what we've done, how we succeeded, and what we learned. I'm Robert Nahas. We talk with authors, entrepreneurs, and other experts to uncover their stories behind their ideas, their journeys, and what drives them to do what they do. Today's guest is founder and president of Lean Leaders Plus. He's also a keynote speaker and a #1 best-selling author. His name is Shannon Carver, and his #1 bestseller is called Your Leadership Currency of TCR. Build ultimate influence through trust, credibility, and respect. I'm excited to explore his journey that led to where he is today. Shannon, welcome to Wealth Window. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to share some important thoughts with our audience. Let me bring you on here. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Appreciate you inviting me, and I'm glad to be here. Excited to be here.
Thanks. Thank you very much. So tell me a little bit about Lean Leaders.
Yeah, Lean Leaders Plus.
Yeah.
So it's a consulting firm, management consulting firm. I founded it back in 2016. We focus 100% on developing leaders in the area, actually all areas of leadership, but there is a special focus on developing cultures and leaders in the area of lean leadership. And so lean is this idea of making processes better, focused on how to improve outcomes and with a heavy focus on customer satisfaction. So
Cool. And so you say cultures, is it corporate cultures, workforce culture? What's the area?
Yeah. So most of the work that we do is in the private sector. A lot of manufacturing, healthcare, construction, distribution are kind of the primary areas. We normally work with companies that are, let's call it 100 million to 20. I'm sorry, not 100 million, but 100 people to 2,500 people, somewhere in that range, middle market kind of companies, and companies that are on the lean journey or trying to drive change, significant improvement in their business, or they're just struggling with burnout with their leaders or their employees. So when we think about culture, it's leaders. We believe that leaders create the culture by what they say and they do. And so when we think about culture, it's all of the employees within those organizations. If there's struggles there, then there's usually leadership problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. When I go into a business even and something is going on, I always look to my wife and I say, I blame management. It's from the top down, right?
Yeah,
it's true.
That's exactly right.
So tell me a little about your book. I'll put some up on the screen here. So I know it's a #1 bestseller, and actually you and I worked on it together. I was just blown away when you came up with, you explained to me TCR, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting stuff. And so why don't you explain a little bit about your book to our audience?
Yeah, the book launched this March. It has been the concept that is in the book, this idea of earning the right to influence people versus using our authority to get people to do things. So it's really about increasing your influence. That this idea came up probably almost 10 years ago, and so it's really this idea of servant leadership and helping leaders understand the best way, the most effective way to be influential with their teams, with their peers, with their managers. And it's this idea we have to earn trust, credibility, and respect from people, because that's what people want more than anything else. And as a result of that, when we earn that, we get massive influence, we get massive followership. And so the book goes into everything around the why, the what, the how do you measure it, how do you improve it. And it's like Peter Drucker used to say, you can't improve something until you can measure it, and what gets measured gets improved. And so really we're taking a concept that I think is fairly intuitive. I would call it simple yet transformative, because you take this simple concept of TCR, and when people sit down and actually understand what it is and then measure it, it becomes almost obvious, like, what do I need to do? And yet a lot of leaders are frustrated because they don't know how to, they know what they want, they just don't know how to get it. And so this concept, I've been using it in our clients for the last 9-10 years. Highly transformative, highly effective. And so as a result of that, like just seeing the effectiveness of it, I had to write the book.
Awesome. Nice. Yeah. When we work with individuals, they always have a strong purpose, a positive goal to help improve conditions somewhere. I got excited about that in you. And so is it fair to say that the book is somewhat of a manual in its own right, where someone could technically pick up the book and apply it to their own leadership, whether they wanted to lead lead others in a company, or to be honest with you, even maybe a parent in a family. But would it be fair to say that this would be something that a manual that people could apply if they wanted to?
I think that's a fair way to say it. The thing that the caveat with that is, so the answer is yes. So it does speak to the why, it speaks to the what, and it speaks to the how.
Mm-hmm.
And so from that perspective, there's nothing held back. The book will stand on its own, and it will walk away. In fact, the last chapter is a quick start guide. Like, okay, now you understand it. Like, what do you go do? And so absolutely a manual type from that perspective. With that being said, the caveat to it is that our leadership behaviors are very much habitual. And so the whole idea of changing our leadership behaviors are really around changing our habits. And so it takes a fair amount of intentionality to do that. So you've probably had that experience where you've gone to, and many people have, you've gone to some seminar and you heard some content and you thought, wow, that's really amazing. And you're like, I'm going to do that. And then you
Right.
go back, and a week later, like you got really busy making up for all the time you lost. And then a week later, like, oh, that's still good. I'm going to do that. And then you never do it. And so like everything in life, it's around being intentional. So this, again, everything in here, it is like a manual. It will help you actually do it. And I've had lots of people so far coming back and telling me, man, it really changed the way I thought about it. It's really helped me in this relationship or that relationship. And so absolutely, the thing that readers need to know is that it's going to take your intentional effort
Yeah.
to do that. And so most of our work is with corporate clients, where we help them organizationally make that transition. Not so much on the individual side.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Excellent. So yeah, and I get it. We work better with others than we do by ourselves, right? Um, but it's really impressive how you share everything in your book, and I think it can really show executives who have leaders, who want good leaders, that what could be applied to their company if they applied the information in the book, and ideally they actually hired your company, to come in and implement it. Right, that'd be the ideal situation. Give you a
Yeah,
plug there,
certainly
but
for
it's
us. I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said I gave you a plug there, but it's true.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I mean, and I was going to say, obviously we help clients implement the thought process and the mindset into their leaders, and help with all kinds of organizational challenges, from retention to employee dissatisfaction or lack of engagement. This idea of quiet quitting that is so prevalent in our culture and society today. And really, I believe that as you grow your leaders and invest in your leaders, and they become stronger, you develop a much stronger culture. And we know that when culture is strong in a positive way, our employees are happier. And then when our employees are happier, our customers are happier. So that's what we do. And but in the same right, that book is out there, and it will take you from soup to nuts on the process of how to grow your TCR in your organization and become a much better leader.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed with the information in the book that you provided, and I think others will be too. I really do. So, what's something that people often misunderstand about you or your work?
Yeah, I think the most common misunderstanding, the name of the company is Lean Leaders Plus, and Lean's been around for quite some time, and leadership has been around for quite some time in terms of consulting groups that help in both those arenas. And they're kind of two big separate disciplines. And so when I created Lean Leaders Plus, it was this idea of how do we help companies get better faster, and yet there was a lot of lean consulting groups that tried to add leadership stuff to it, and really what they do is they just say use the tools more, better, et cetera, or they just teach the tools to leaders. And so a lot of times we get put into that category of you're just a lean guy, right? You're a lean organization that helps us with lean, and they don't really give us a chance on the leadership side. And I hope that this book really puts that thought to bed. We are a leadership company, and we can help organizations on any leadership topic or challenge they have. And then we also have the expertise in the lean world, the idea of creating culture of continuous improvement. What really got me there was I started off in the lean world, like as a lean consultant, and we did all these Kaizen events. I used to call myself a Kaizen cowboy. We'd go get help organizations improve all these processes, and they'd be like, okay, what's next? And we really didn't have a good answer for them. And so when I founded Lean Leaders Plus, it was really around, let's flip the script. Let's develop leaders and the mindset in the organization to have a continuous improvement culture. And then the tools of lean and Six Sigma and continuous improvement will thrive in that kind of a culture. And so I think that's probably what's most misunderstood about us. When they see the name of Lean Leaders Plus, they think we're just a lean company. And the reality is we're a leadership company focused on helping companies on that journey,
Nice.
in addition to other things.
Excellent. So this is a screenshot of your homepage, the hero image of your website, tcrcurrency.com, where, well, I won't even ask, I'll tell everyone that your book can be found in bookstores everywhere, in the US, the UK, Canada, New Zealand, Italy, just about every English-speaking country, and including Amazon, which is the largest bookstore in the world. So it's currently available in print and ebook, right? Kindle. And I think you were talking about possibly having an audiobook. Is that in the works?
That is in the works, and my hope is that by the end of this summer, we'll be able to have that audio version out for readers. I know it's my choice of how I consume books mostly, and I know there's a lot of people out there like that. So I'm pretty committed to the idea of completing that part of the project and having that book out there from an audio perspective.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's a whole nother audience, and I prefer them as well. Like I'll go exercise and listen. A lot of people do it when they're driving. So excellent, Shannon. I really appreciate you being here today and having us all be a little wealthier with knowing a little more about how to make great leaders with TCR. And so thank you again for being here. I really do appreciate
thank you.
it.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate the time.
All right, man. So everyone, we will leave in the description of the video contact information, Shannon's website, and where you can get the book and so forth. And so just check out the description for those things. And if you enjoyed today's episode of Wealth Window, please like and share and tell others about it. And thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more real conversations with people shaping the world through their ideas, passion, and expertise. Until next time, thanks for looking through our window.